love 2 days in every business week. I love Fridays and I love Mondays. On Fridays, I just get happy that the weekend is here. Then on Mondays, I got fired up for a brand new business and trading week. So this is one of those days. I'm a little bit happy. I got 2 days off the screen. Then I get back to business bright and early on Monday. So let's get to roll this weekend, starting with today's edition of Business Morning, everyone. We're live to you from Abuja, Nigeria's political capital. I am posting number 5. What's been a very interesting business and trading week will end today, but to now look at next week, which is going to be relatively busy as everyone gets to put the new year mood behind them. And we're beginning to see more of those outlook on the state of the economy and the various aspects of it. So this is what next week calendar looks like. Still on the surface, just a few. Add more of it to this calendar, and then we can get back together on Monday next week as we continue our discussion here. Deloitte & Touche is holding Nigeria's economic outlook. One of the Nigeria economic outlook, quite a few of them, of 2018 conference on the 25th. That will be something Thursday, I guess. Yes. The outlook will have, according to Deloitte & Touche, will have the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, in attendance, the head of the Budget Office, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, the NIPC, that's the Investment Promotion Council, and the Presidential Council on Ease of Doing Businesses by the acronym PEBEC or PEBEC. That's one of the high-profile events we're looking at for next week. On the same day, but for 2 days, 25th and 26th, the second National FinTech Conference will take place also in Lagos. The conference will have most of the banks, the central bank, and a lot of other folks in the telecoms industry come together to discuss the state of financial technology in Nigeria. Then the week that is taking us to the end of the month, that's January 31st, we have the Nigerian Economic Outlook Conference, this time by a different body, with a focus on Nigeria in the world and the world in Nigeria. So that's part of just a very snapshot of the January 2018 calendar. We're almost done. Monday will be 22nd, and then we have 5 business days. Then we have 3 final days of the month in the upper week. So that's the calendar there for you. But one of the things that will be missing on our calendar next week, Monday and Tuesday, is the Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the Central Bank, the first in 2018, due January 22nd and 23rd, as the Senate fails to screen and confirm new MPC members nominated by President Buhari last year. Several MPC meetings were held in 2017 with just 7 or 8 members in attendance without a quorum of 11. So, sources told us yesterday that the executive and the Senate are now working behind closed doors to resolve the screening, which was long overdue by the Senate. This political horse trading, we have no idea, but we've got competent sources say later next week we expect the Senate to come back from this weekend and screen those nominees of the president and get the MPC properly constituted. Then we will have that first MPC meeting. Now the president, we're expecting the executive to work that out. The Senate is also sitting on President Buhari's nominees of new members of the Central Bank Board of Governors, and that's also yet without to be approved. A few folks were nominated last year to join Godwin Emefiele on the Board of Governors, so we have just very few members now. We have expecting more. So the Central Bank needs those members, and the MPC also needs to be properly constituted. Sources told Business Morning yesterday that a formal statement is expected from the Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday, the 22nd, on when the next Monetary Policy Committee meeting will hold, as this one has been postponed. But sources said the first meeting will be held in February, second week of February. We're expecting that to come through. Okay, so let's, but the Central Bank Act, you can see that, provides at least 4 meetings should be held in a year. Technically about 7, but at least you should hold about 4 in a year. So if we miss this one in January and hold the first one in February, we'll see how the rest of that calendar will pace out when we receive that formal press statement from the Central Bank on Monday, the 22nd. Let's go to the market. I just love this market. Nearly $30 million sold on the Nigerian market yesterday aggressively. Nearly 2 billion ordinary shares. The equity cap also surged to a very record level, 1606 trillion naira. All share index came back very strongly, close to 45,000. Perhaps we'll get across that today. The index weakened slightly by about 0.1%. That's not strong enough. The market, the buying sentiment was too strong. If you flip that page over and you see what the primary numbers look like, 1.34 billion shares, 29.8 million US dollars. That's about 11 billion naira. And look at the number of deals, 11,355. So you want to know how active the market is. If the bullish sentiment is still there, you just look at the primary data. Volume, value, and deals. In particular, the number of deals and the volume of shares traded. When investors are active and they are bullish on you, just look at the last line. The number of transactions, that's 11,000. And that shows you how aggressive investors are willing to get in and get out of the market, and there's a buy and sell sentiment. Take it away. Let's look at the those five sectors and see how we came around with that 0.1% negative reading on it. The consumer index, that's the consumer goods index, dragged the market with their cousins, the industrials, by about 2.24% in total. Oil and gas also tapered along the rest of them, so that dragged the market. Insurance came back strongly. Perhaps they were listening to their regulator, Mohammed Akari, here on the program yesterday. The insurance got 2.04% on the day. The sector regulator spoke exclusively, first word in 2018 to Channel Television 24 hours ago. They followed their cousins, in fact, much better than their bigger cousins, the banks, 0.33%.